the emblem, uh, the emblem that was introduced into the Royal Standard of England, in Numbers 24, 8 to 9, it says, "He hath, as it were," talking now about Israel, the scriptures say, "He hath, as it were, the strength of a unicorn. He couched, he lay down as a lion, and as a great lion who shall stir him up." So the lion and the unicorn are symbols of Britain and Canada. It's amazing.
Well, you've got the unicorn also in Scottish, in the crest. But
Right.
you know what it also says?
That's
God and my right, and also shame be to he who evil thinks.
Yep.
Those are with the unicorn and the lion, and that's what it says there.
Now, the College of Heralds in London, that's the College of Heralds, formerly known as the College of Heralds, has traced Queen Elizabeth II's second to be the 144th direct descendant of King David, as you were saying earlier.
144th.
144th.
Wow.
With an awareness of this heritage, a special medal was struck to commemorate the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II on June 2nd, 1953, and on the coin it clearly depicted the arrival of the throne at the British Isles from the Middle East. So everywhere you look, you'll see evidence of the identity of the British and American people, as well as the other tribes. And of course, we have Blue. If you just pick up this, once again, we go back and pick up. There's the basic. There basically
well, you've got them all divided up to which country they're from.
Countries are which.
So Reuben, France; Simeon, Celts and the Jews; Levi with the Jews; Yehuda, Jutes and Jews. You've got Issachar, Swiss and Finns; Zebulun, Holland. I didn't know that one. That Yehuda. Which one is that one?
Yehuda.
Yeah.
Well, that's Judah.
Judah. Okay, so it's Judah.
Instead of Judah, he's put the
I see. I was wondering because I'd never
yeah.
seen it that way before. Zebulun, Holland, Gad, Sweden, Asher, Scots. Benjamin is the Belgi and the Normans. Dan and the Celts. Naphtali, the Norwegians. We were just watching that hockey game with the Swiss. I wonder how they're doing, Lenny.
Yeah.
Do you think the Canadians are winning?
Yeah.
Well, they sure won last night. That's for sure.
Of course, the interesting thing here is that biblical prophecy is based on explaining what will happen to the tribes and where they will be at the end time and what will happen to them. And if you know the true identity of the tribes and what countries are which tribe, then you know what's going to happen to these nations and these countries. And that is the exciting thing. And that is what's not talked about. And of course, there's a lot of hostility to this academia because the ruler of this world, the prince of the power of the air, does not want people to find out their true identity. Do they, Mrs. Steele? Does he, Mrs. Steele?
Well, he absolutely does not want anyone to know who they really are.
Right.
He just wants to mix everybody up. He wants everyone to be fighting.
Yep.
And not deciding on a religion. So he'll come up with a really nice wishy-washy religion. Gaia, right. Baha'i, Mother Earth, sort of Buddhism, all mixed in there, the world citizenry religion, which they're creating right now. And they want to mix up the Muslim and the Christian religions and make them one.
Exactly.
So the idea is to get everybody all mixed up so they can fight. I mean, it's going to make everybody fight.
Yeah.
A lot more violence.
Now, of course, the children of Israel, the northern kingdom, did not accept the Mosaic law, and the scriptures say that the Israelites were exiled because they worshipped foreign gods. Are they biblical passages and historic reality show that even their very Israelite origin, they would forget. It was said that they would forget it, and that they would. The scriptures say that Yahweh said that if they would worship foreign gods, that He would remove their identity and their language, and that is exactly what's happened.
Didn't it take a long time for Manasseh and Ephraim to get the blessing? Because they were worshiping idols. They weren't obeying, so they finally had to get the blessing, and that was in the 1700s, and we know what happened. I mean, Ephraim became very prosperous, was in charge of so many countries, colonized most of Africa, India,
The gates of the
Australia,
world.
the gates of the world, really all the different gates. So they were promised that blessing. But
Yeah.
up until that time, they were very disobedient, weren't they?
Yeah, the
They were
scriptures-
idol worshiping, weren't they?
Yeah,
And now they're
Yahweh
back to
said
that now,
he
aren't
would,
they?
Yahweh said that He would defer the birthright blessing for 2,520 years. He said that he didn't say 2,520 years, but He said 7 times.
Yeah.
And 7 times means 7 years of days. So it's be 7 times 360. So from the time of their captivity in 722 BC, roughly 722 to 726 BC, if you add 2,520 years, you come out to roughly the 1800s.
Yeah. So they got their blessing, but they
Britain and America in the 1800s were a small nation from the standpoint of their population compared to Spain and Portugal and China. At the time in the 1800s, if I was to say to you, who's going to become the leader and control the world and control the gates of the world, you'd say, well,
So in
Britain
other
and
words,
America would never do it. They're
God
nobody's.
promised them the blessing. Now,
Who? Yahweh.
Yahweh. So
Yeah.
what's happening right now is that we know that Ephraim and Manasseh have continued to worship idols, and they
Right.
don't
So the blessing is going to be...
and they don't follow the Sabbath, do they?
No.
So they've got some problems right now, and the blessing is gone. So therefore, Jacob's trouble is here, and we can see it happening. I mean, it's so evident in the United States right now, and England,
Yeah.
and Britain, I should say. You know, you've got all the financial
Yeah.
stuff that's happening. I mean, trillions and trillions of dollars in debt.
Jacob's trouble.
And you know what was that thing that Obama did? He's promising to create all these jobs right now with the economic stimulus.
Yeah.
And do you know what? That's 95,000 jobs a month. Okay, so here's 2 questions for you, Lenny. What kind of jobs is he going to create, and where is he going to get the money to create these jobs?
Yeah.
It's all, it's all
Sleight of
false,
hand.
exactly.
Shell
False
game.
promises, shell
It's a
games.
shell game.
I mean, he can't do it.
It's a Ponzi
And I
scheme.
mean, Gerald Caliente was talking about that,
Yeah.
and he said it's called the financial wars. That's the first stage.
And you can listen
So we're in
to-
the global wars. It's the financial
We
wars.
should just
right now.
plug that. Salenti you can see
Salenti, yeah.
at our Shock Talk group site, right?
Yep.
Go to facebook.com and go to our group site, and we've got that up on our... If you go to our cloakanddagger.ca, you go to our archives, you can get all those links.
First of all, even if he did create 95,000
10
jobs,
Yep.
Lenny,
Yep.
where would these jobs be? Would they be government jobs? I mean, would he just make up a bunch of jobs?
Well, they wouldn't be wealth creation
wouldn't be able to
jobs.
do it. I mean, you can't do
Yeah.
it. It's just a bunch of false promises again. I mean, he did say he would make change, though. And I mean, he's doing a lot of changing.
Yeah, he's
Not good
changing.
stuff. Not good stuff.
Well, I think that what's shocking, Mrs. Steele, is that people don't know their identity.
Yeah.
And don't realize it's all around. The thing that's shocking is we can show that when you look at the coat of arms, when you look at the coins, when you look at the name of the flag, Union Jack,
It's also evident.
when you look at the language, when you look at the myths, when you look at
It's all there,
everywhere
all
you
of it.
look,
And you know
there's
what's interesting,
evidence
that
of their real identity.
And we were talking about the Hebrew alphabet, the Hebrew being extremely close to the English alphabet, to the English language,
Closer than
which
Latin and
really
French,
is,
exactly.
well, the world language, you would say. English
Yep.
is the worldwide language.
Yep.
So, I mean, Israel spread everywhere, right? So came up with another language, which is very similar to Hebrew.
and they won't accept
Well,
it, but America is a Hebrew nation.